would you lobby the Academy to start taking these incredible action movies more seriously?
Well, I think they do take the action movies seriously, and I think this is an ongoing dialogue that we've all been having internally, and I think eventually we'll make our way to a place where we're all incredibly happy. And what I mean by we're all incredibly happy, I mean by recognizing the hard work, the action, and especially though, I will say this personally, is it important that action movies get recognized in the Academy? It is. Is it more important than stunts? No, I don't believe that. I believe that before us, it should be stunts, and I'd like to see, and I don't know what variation of that is, you know, because it's hard to say, because a lot of times it's just easy to say, oh, well, stunts should be recognized, and action movies should be recognized, there should be a category for best action, and that's the way it should happen at the Oscars. It's not always that easy, you know, there's nuances and details and deeper dialogue that you have to go through, but I'd like to see stunts first be recognized.
Hey, Dwayne, talk to me about how the film addresses the height differential between you and Jason. You're obviously a lot bigger than he is. In Fast Five, they photographed you and Vin to make it seem like you guys were the same height when you're not. So is that the case in this film, or do they actually address your size differential?
I think, no, I think, well, that's a good question. I don't think we hit it on the head, but I also think we didn't run away from it, especially in the movie, because you can't. And you don't want to do, well, we, in this movie, we didn't want to go down that route, because I think that's what makes the chemistry so interesting and unique, where I'm a bigger guy than he is, and we look completely different, and, you know, so no, we didn't, if what you're asking is, did we doctor things up? No, not at all. We just went on set, and I look how I look, and he looks how he looked, and I'm like, hey, and I'm like, hey, Jason, how you doing?
We're in serious trouble.
That's an understatement.
Let's get old school.
Polynesian culture represented in this one. Tell me a little bit more of how you see that they're fronted.
About?
The Polynesian and Samoan.
Oh, I'm very proud, really extremely proud of that, and you know, that's been one of the talking points of this entire campaign for me, is that I get a chance to showcase both of my cultures, one, or at least one of my two cultures. I'm half black and half Samoan, so to be able to showcase my Samoan side was just very special and deeply personal to me. And also, you know, we also knew that for the very first time ever in Hollywood, in a big Hollywood blockbuster movie, that the Samoan culture was ever being showcased for the first time. It's a cool thing. It's an important thing. It's a critical thing and a vital thing, and it was also a very special thing.
Well, I mean, speaking of the big guy in the film, you play one of his brothers.
Yeah, man.
What is the kind of the dynamic there that fans can expect?
Love.
Yeah?
In its most rarest forms, man. Like, you know, when we're having those photos and those ia lava lavas, you know, the Samoan culture, Tongans, we're Polynesians, we wear the skirt, you know? Like, we make it look good.
What are you most excited for people to see?
Just excited for people to be able to enjoy more of the Fast and Furious universe. It's like, look, when you're a fan of something, you can never get enough. And for us now to be able to start spinning off these characters, expanding the universe to ultimately enforce and enhance the Fast and Furious world, that's the best feeling, because ultimately you're getting more of what you love, and you're getting to learn more about these characters you've been following for so long that you never got to learn about. So it's very exciting.
What can you tell me about Sam? Like, what did you kind of like about her personality?
Well, she's a daddy's girl, and I would say I'm also a daddy's girl too. She's inquisitive, and I always want to be in the know. And she's just strong-willed, and I like that about her.
And what was the first time you got to meet Dwayne Johnson?
Well, first day filming, and I was doing a scene with another actor, and he came on with his dog Hobbs. The dog was so cute.
Yeah.
And he gave me such a big hug, introduced me to his dog, and he told me what his dog ate, and I was training the dog. Actually has good taste. The dog ate zucchini and meat.
You know, at the heart of this movie, besides the emotional heart, and that's definitely in it, it's a rock and roll score with a huge orchestra.
Yeah.
So it was just fun to really get into it. It was fun to really make this a rock and roll movie. It's not like a heavy metal type thing. It's real fun rock music. So.
No way. This guy's a real ass.
Well,
look, one of the things you always know is that when you're dealing with a Fast and Furious movie, you're going to have spectacle, you're going to have giant action, you're going to have amazing cars. For us, we wanted to dial up a couple things that we feel like we can't always do as much as we want to in a Fast and Furious movie that allows us to create a path here. One of those main things was dial into a buddy cop comedy vibe. You know, having Dwayne, having Jason, their banter, people responded so well to that in Fast 8 that to give that vibe of two guys that just want to kick each other's asses, but we got to save the world first. It's so much fun, reminds you of the 80s. So you add that, you up the humor a little bit, and then we did things very practical in this movie. We were able to do a lot of stuff in camera. It's a calling card of Leech, which he's so good at. So with that, you get a little bit of a grounded, gritty feel with our movie, but don't worry, we still have Dwayne holding a helicopter and a car together.
I was going to
deliver on the craziness. So.
Sure. Based on what you saw on set, what are you most excited to see?
The arc of the journey, because I want to follow these two characters. I mean, the way they put these two out is reminiscent of all the partnerships of different cultures, but they had that charisma, bro. You know what I mean?